In this video, we're going to go step by step on how to make dehydrated venison jerky.
First, we'll need to take about 2 pounds of venison and trim it of any silver skin and unwanted fat. Then we'll set that in the freezer for 1.5 to 2 hours. Next, we'll get started on our marinade. For that, we'll need a cup of soy sauce, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons Worcestershire sauce, a tablespoon each of garlic powder, onion powder, freshly cracked black pepper, and smoked paprika. Then 1 to 2 teaspoons of red pepper flakes, depending on how spicy you like it, 2 teaspoons of liquid smoke, and a 1/2 teaspoon of Insecure No. 1. We'll mix that together and then set it aside and get back out our venison roast. We'll slice our partially frozen venison into 1/4 inch thick slices using either a meat slicer or a sharp knife. You can either slice with the grain for a more tender jerky or against the grain for a chewier jerky, depending on your personal preference. Freezing the meat prior to slicing for jerky is important because it makes it firmer and easier to cut in consistent, even slices. Once we've sliced all of our venison into thin strips, we can start adding the strips to our marinade either one by one or in small groups. As you add the strips, it's important to make sure each strip is fully coated in the marinade. Once we've finished adding all of the strips, we can cover with the lid and set it in the fridge. We'll need to let this marinate for at least 6 hours or up to 24 hours, stirring a few times while it marinates. You can marinate in a large bowl with a lid like I did, or use a Ziploc bag. I personally like to marinate my jerky overnight so that I have the entire next day to work on it. Once the marinade time is done, we'll need to completely dry out the marinade from the jerky prior to setting it in the dehydrator. To do that, we'll take a large baking sheet and line it with paper towels. Then we'll place the jerky strips one by one onto the paper towels and place more paper towels over top and gently press them into the meat so that the marinade is removed. Now we can take our jerky strips and place them onto our dehydrator trays. If you have any uneven pieces, place them on the same tray so that it's easier to keep track of their doneness. Then we're ready to put our dehydrator trays into the dehydrator and let it work its magic. We'll set our dehydrator to 165 degrees, and after 3 hours, I like to start checking the jerky for doneness and reduce the heat to about 140 to 140 degrees. You know the jerky is done by doing the doneness test. The jerky should bend but not break. It should also have a consistent color, and you can also use an internal meat thermometer to make sure that the jerky has reached 165 degrees. And that's it! Store your jerky in a cool, dry place and use within 2 months, or if you want your jerky to last longer, you can store it in the fridge and it'll last several months. That is, if it even lasts that long. Enjoy!